In this episode of the Iron Empire, we do a full patina paint job on this Sovereign Gold ZK Ford Fairlane. Okay guys, so in this episode we're going to try and do our first DIY patina paint job on the ZK Fairlane. This is owned by my mate Ben. He brought it over from Victoria, and as you can see, this thing had multiple coloured guards on it. Obviously it had some panels replaced and it was looking a bit shabby. Overall, this is a super solid and tidy car, very minimal rust. I wish my LTD was half as good as this thing, but it needs a paint job. Unfortunately, even a car this good still needs a lot of body work to get it perfect. We don't have that time or budget, so we're going to try and have a crack at doing a patina number. Generally speaking, I'm not the biggest fan of patina, fake patina, but in this case, it's our best bet in trying to preserve this car, make it look all one color and pretty neat, and give it a bit of character along the way. So, we're going to start by paint stripping the roof, which was primed incorrectly. Once we get that back, we can start moving forward with some paint work. Alright, so we are day 2 on this project now, and as you'll see, the colour is down on the driver's side here. We forgot there's a little bit of repair to do. Both rear quarters have a tiny bit of rust, and I'm talking tiny, especially considering these cars were very bad for rust. This thing is super rust free, especially the C-pillars, they always went. This one's good. So 2 tiny little spots there, we've got a little bit of fiberglass filler in those. Ben's standing up the other side. We painted a little bit of colour down this side just to sort of see how it looks. It does look a lot brighter. I've done a blend on the door, but it's clearly a lot brighter. So maybe there was some variance in this Sovereign colour, but it's what we've got, so it's what we're going to run with. And the fact that we're going to be doing a patina sort of look on this car, I think we'll be able to save it. We'll be able to get away with the colour match. We've got a couple of methods we've been YouTubing on how we're going to get a bit of patina look to this car without going too crazy. We don't want it to look rough, we just want it to look a little bit aged, just to sort of hide the fact that this body isn't perfect. The roof was the worst bit. So that once we started paint stripping the roof, which had some primer on it, but it wasn't etched, it wasn't bonding to that metal. Once we started peeling all that back, we exposed a lot of filler in here, so we've had to go through and try and sort out the bodywork up there. We're on the last few little patches there, but I'm pretty confident we'll get that in this run. The bonnet is in a primer, and that seems to have held up, so we've buzzed all that back. Ben's sort of done a few little chips he's sort of sorted, and we're getting pretty close to being able to prime the roof, and then we're going to get the rest of the color down on the body, as in the lower half of this car, and then start playing with some patina. It's getting there. Hopefully we'll have this done tomorrow. Right, so after finally getting an absolute disgusting coat of primer down with a bunch of rocket, hardening it up in the sun for like an hour. It's like 35 today, so it was rock solid. In about an hour's time, we buzzed it all back. As you can see, went up with a 600 finish. It actually turned out pretty good for a rush job. We actually done also a little bit of a test panel here with the sort of fake rust look, but that was just to test the waters. Now I just got to get a coat of colour on these primer patches, the roof and the bonnet, and then that's going to be it for today. It's been a rush job today. It's getting late in the day, and that's as far as I'm going to get. And then tomorrow we'll start doing some fun stuff, some graphics. Okay guys, so here we are, day 3 on the Fairlane Patina paint job, and today is the artwork day. So we've got a few methods we're going to have a crack at in trying to make this thing look patina, so we can sort of disguise an imperfect body. Now mind you, it is a pretty good body, but it's not perfect, and if we were to paint this thing mint, it would highlight all the bumps and bruises, so it would actually probably look worse. So we're going to try and preserve what's there, but we're just going to have a bit of fun with it. As you can see right here, we've done a little bit of a fake patina on it, and we have a couple other methods we're going to try as well. So we're going to get stuck into that this morning, and then we're waiting on the weather for when we can clear this thing. We're going to try and break it down maybe into thirds, because trying to paint a car this big in these conditions is pretty tricky. So even if we sort of spray one side at a time, we'll work it out. But first things first, we've got to get some graphics down. So let's start playing with that. Okay, so here you'll see a bunch of black sections that I've sprayed in, just using some black here. I'm going to use this as a base, and then up next, believe it or not, we're going to sprinkle some dry coffee grinds all over these black patches, and this is going to be the base of our rust. See how this transforms. So once I'd sprinkled down those coffee grinds, I went in afterwards with the original Sovereign Gold colour to get it back to the base colour. Now I'm going in very carefully and lightly spraying in a reddy browny sort of tinge to give the base of the rust. The careful thing here is trying not to blow the coffee grinds off. We're just trying to gently get that in. And then once we've got a base down, I move on to dropping the pressure right down low and spraying it out so it's all motley and shitty. It just comes out all messy, and the messier we can get it, the more it looks like rust. It kind of worked. So the next part was pretty tricky. I had to keep altering the color to get it just right. I needed the rust to look more 3D by adding more depth. The more black I added, the better it looked. Stick in there. Yeah, it's sticking in there a bit more than I was hoping, and that's only exposed from white. Yeah, actually just fucking stuck it, eh? Bugger. Some of the spots this work. Yeah, that's the sort of style it's meant to be, but I think it looks better when you start rubbing it, but it's really hard to do with the stuff, the metallic, so. It's not as prominent as I was hoping it would be. That looks kind of cool. That looks pretty.
Yeah, I like this back one the most, yeah.
The bit that I was worried about the most because I went to get ape shit. El Natural Rustina. Okay, so next up I started dabbing on a bit of black and brown and just sort of trial and error, and I was a bit worried at one point it was looking worse, but after I stood back and looked at it properly, it made a big difference. It started really taking shape. Okay guys, so we are finally up to laying down some clear coat, and we were so keen to see how this turned out. Now, a lot of people opt to go with a more satin finish, which probably does look a little bit more correct over a patina style paint job. But in this case, because we wanted to give this car the presence of a nice clean cruiser, we wanted to go with the gloss finish, and let me tell you, it's coming out really good. You got to watch to the end to see how this turns out. Okay guys, so there you have it. The patina paint job is finally done. We are super happy with how this thing turned out. It was a big 2.5 to 3 days, but we got the job done, and yeah, super budget friendly, super time friendly. Check out how it turned out. Alright, so that's it guys. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out the online store, and we'll see you all on an upcoming episode. Cheers guys.